Welcome to Filmywatchlist. My name is Richard Keeney. Today I'm going to be doing a review of Hereditary with my girlfriend Cynthia. Hereditary is a brilliant, nerve-shredding horror film with some terrific performances. Brilliant debut directorial outing by Ari Aster. Definitely worth watching. It's full of memorable imagery, shocking twists, and is probably one of the best horror films I've seen in the cinema in quite some time. After seeing the film, me and Cynthia had an in-depth spoiler discussion of Hereditary. If you haven't seen the film, go see it. It's amazing. Come back and listen to our reaction.
How do you feel now after all this kind of intense situation?
Unnerved.
Unnerved, yeah. Just happy that we have a small house.
And not an old house with an attic.
And that I'm not good with craft and I don't do shit.
What do you think of Hereditary?
It's really disturbing. I mean, he nailed it. I think it did a good job. Because I'm even questioning my family now.
I think if you like your family, you're okay. If you're not at a funeral saying that you're suspicious that people showed up.
Yeah, you know when she said like all these strangers, yeah, I'm glad they're here. That you knew that something was wrong.
Oh, that makes
there.
sense now.
Yeah, of course. She says like but I thought for a moment that her mom was an artist or something. I knew because of the trailer that, of course, there was something wrong with her mom. Yeah. But then when she said that about the strangers, I thought maybe her mom was an artist like her, you know, that she makes these things. Yeah. But then, no. That was crazy, really.
The devil is in the details. Yeah,
all this little stuff. And these people were always around. You were the one who noticed that the people that...
Yeah, he's at the coffin when the son looks at his grandmother and he's just smiling. Then later on...
The son... But there's a part when the girl also turn around and she...
Oh, maybe she's the one that...
She's the one. Is the girl. Is the girl. Because I thought the girl would pick up the necklace thing, but she didn't. But then, you know, you see, when she's standing, to see the body of the grandmother, she's looking at the necklace. Yeah. And then she turns around and there is a guy and she makes eye contact with the guy.
Smile.
Yeah. But the guy was like a security, I thought. I don't know, security
for a funeral.
Yeah, sorry. Well, in that case, yeah, they should have. But I thought it wasn't, because he was just standing there, like, you know, like part of the logistics shit, I don't know.
Yeah, he was organizing the queue.
Yeah, wasn't he?
He was watching the body.
He was just standing
no one stole the body.
Weird place, I don't know.
Yeah.
Weird.
Toni Collette's really good in it. The main actress.
The mother, yeah.
She's amazing.
No, she's great, really. Really, she's very good. I think, yeah, that when she was like sleepwalking, yeah, she was actually like more aware of, you know, maybe the mother was actually playing with her head as well. Of course, the grandma, you know, like her own mother was kind of, you know, dragging her in their kind of witchcraft.
Well, she
stuff.
said that she was manipulative.
Yeah,
that's why she stopped talking to her.
Exactly. So I think, well, as I told you, when she sleepwalked and wanted to light on fire both of her kids and even herself, she was trying to stop her mother, you know, with her whole stuff.
To end the family line.
The hereditary, you know, thing, you know, so there will be no people to carry that anymore, you know, because she will die there if she have, you know, if she killed them all and herself. Yeah. Nothing will have happened. So
I like the allegory that they're all like the miniatures in the little doll houses, because they're kind of, even the sleepwalking is kind of like that in a way. It's that you're not being controlled, that you're just being kind of, you know, something beyond your consciousness is controlling your movements.
Exactly.
So it's the same way as like she's placing these little figurines inside the dollhouse.
Yeah.
And like in any way she wants, like when she puts the mother in the doorway, just kind of watching them.
I think when she was actually, now something came to me, like when she was doing that, you know, in the dollhouse, whatever, maybe it wasn't even her, you know, she wasn't that aware of what she was doing, because remember, like when she's making the daughter's room, when she's like in the dollhouse, she wrote that weird word in Latin that
Satany was...
or something. And then she wrote other words in another part of the little house.
Yeah.
And I don't think she was even aware of what she was doing, you know.
And it's creepy that you go away for a while, and when you come back to her building the figurines in the houses, she's done so much. Like maybe she's not even sleeping, or she's like, you know, working like it insanely with all this detail and all this work.
Yeah, I mean, it was like maybe her own mother was through her doing all that stuff, you know. And it's like you said, like with the treehouse, it's like the mother was always working from there or something, you know what I mean? Like she...
Yeah, well, that's like the altar at the end.
Exactly. So. But it's like she was from there manipulating everything that was going on in the big house. Yeah.
I love that imagery with the red light coming through the... Oh, you missed that bit when you went out. She, Toni Collette, the mother, Annie would sleep in the treehouse after the girl dies, and there's just this red light that comes through the window because she's got this heating fan on, and it just makes it look like really like satanic or hellish. But
I didn't see that. Just like when the grandmother dies, the girl sleep in the treehouse. Yeah. So when the girl dies, okay.
Yeah, they're drawn to it, but it's like a miniature of the house, but then it's nearly like dislocated from the house in the way that the decapitation of the head is.
Oh yeah, totally.
And there's all that weird kind of imagery of something being broken apart.
Yeah.
From the main, like with the pigeon's head.
Yeah.
And there's a few different things like leading up to it, foreshadowing like heads being taken off. Even like the idea of like her having the nut allergy and like her throat closing off. It's nearly like totally, kind of constricting her head. Oh, I don't know.
She couldn't breathe and all that.
It's terrifying.
And the thing about the head of the family, and then they were like, you know, all the males from the previous generation, all the guys died. Yeah, like the husband and the son. And then it's like this woman, the grandmother, was planning all this against the boy. You know, the boy was the heir. If you think, I mean, like.
Well, the daughter was the granddaughter was the heir. And she had to have a male body for some reason to be reincarnated in a male body.
Because it's like, I don't know, it's always this masculine figure that is on the top, you know. Yeah. At the end, like in everything, you know, in all this, in religion and all that stuff. There are no gods, like big god that the main god is always a male.
Yeah, but in some way the male is like a puppet for the women around it, because the woman, like the grandmother, was the queen. It said that in the frame at the end. She was Queen Lee or whatever, and her friend Joni was like this really powerful woman, along with then Annie. So there's all these really powerful women, or you know, unhinged kind of women that control proceedings. They're like the puppet masters, and then the man is just being used as a vessel for, you know, the granddaughter. There's something there, some weird psychological Freudian shit.
It's horrible.
But it's really effective though.
Yeah, I think they did it very good. Of course, there were moments when I was like just covering my eyes. So.
Oh, and you know, when she wakes them up in the middle of the night to bring them downstairs for the seance, and you see like the model of this house that's just next to the stairs. Yeah. You see that first, but it's like 3 houses on top of each other, and it's like a house, and then there's a buried house underneath the house, and there's all this crazy imagery with the...
She has all these little houses inside of the house. She has many. They are always light on. It's like their little lamps. Yeah. Do you see that? They have like 2 of them in the living room or something that are like... They were like lamps.
Her husband's very loyal.
He's very loyal.
Like with all that crazy shit she's making.
Yeah, if I ever do something like that, don't tell me that you're gonna call the police. Just call the police before, you know. And then
I'd call the police when you start making all those weird models of things.
Yeah,
just recreating the crime scene of where her daughter was decapitated.
I was just thinking all the way, like, hey man, just take this kid away out of this house, you know. Take the kid, you know, somewhere else. Take him to another school when he can just live there and fuck it. And you deal with your wife if you have to, because this is not fair. You know, this is horrible.
The way the girl, what's the girl's name?
Charlie,
he's the girl, yeah. And the way she is killed off is so like shocking, and like I didn't see that coming with the trailer. I thought that she would be like the main antagonist, or this creepy little girl all the way through the movie.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
And the way they just...
That was unexpected, really. I thought that we will need to see more of her, because for me, from the trailer, I got that she was possessed, and she was the one who was causing all the trouble. So I thought we would needed her, throughout the movie, but she was only there for a few.
And it's foreshadowed really well.
Yeah.
With when they drive to the party, her and her brother, and it just pans with the car and kind of lingers on that lamppost.
Yeah.
In the middle of the desert or whatever, just for an extra second. You're like, why am I looking at a lamppost? And then later on, when she's got the head out the window.
No, or when you see, if you notice, I noticed in the lamppost that was the symbol that they carry in the necklace. Yeah. So, yeah, it's kind of hard to see, but I'm very sure that it was there, like, in the lamppost. So I knew that something will happen, of course. So
does that mean it's all fate, or it's like destined to happen?
It's all puppet by the grandma. Everything happened like because it was her plan. So the lamppost was the grandmother. And and the grandmother, like the mother, what's the name of Collette? Toni Collette. She convinced the girl to go to the party. So it's all through the main power of the fucking grandmother, through the daughter. They're pretty irresponsible parents if they're like at the funeral when she's eating chocolate, they're like, oh, is there nuts in that? No, there's not nuts. Make sure there's no nuts. But then, just go to a party with your brother. Yeah, and how old was she? 13. If there's things to eat there, just eat them. Yeah, and your brother is how old? The guy was like 16 and 13. No, he must be 18 or something. Yeah, even worse. 18 and 13. I won't make that happen. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Only a possessed woman. She was just sick of her kids and wanted to get rid of them for a while. Yeah, what the hell? But like the brother, surely. Like he would know about her nut allergy, and just to say, go eat some of that cake, fuck off. Go that there's not that. I mean, he was just chasing this girl, he was just trying to. So maybe he forgot about me. Not every chocolate cake has nuts. But it'd be something that you'd have to be kind of careful about and check. Yeah, actually, well, I mean, it's a boy. It's a horny boy, So I don't know. It's so disturbing. It's so weird. She's like, I that's why I avoid any kind of cult, any kind of reunion. When I see many people in a room, or trying to say something at like singing or stuff, it doesn't matter. There are so many things, so many tendencies, and even a yoga class could scare me. Like when they get too much into be grateful and all that. I understand that we have to be. Understand that we should be grateful and be in peace, but I do it on my own because when I see too many people, it's weird. There's a weird vibe when you see too many people going around. There will be at least one weirdo in that room, that could start a whole thing that we will all regret. So no thanks. It's like that documentary Wild Wild Country that I was watching. Yeah, there's always one. Just they didn't want to make a religion, but they're like, this is just a commune where we all just we hang out, we meditate. No. And then, by the way, can you give me some of your money? And then we're all going to move to America, and you can all move there together, and we'll all wear orange jumpsuits, and we're just a town. And then it turns into a cult. It's like people in groups are scary. Always will go wrong because when you see all these people gathering like that, and there's always the good guys. I mean, the people that are more balanced, let's say, the people that are looking for support because something happened in their lives, and the twisted people. So there's always going to be these three kind of people, I believe, in these kind of groups. But there's something about that. That's like a kind of overwhelming kind of theme in the film. Of like, something controlling you beyond your control. That there's like something kind of puppeteering you. Like the way that the mother sleepwalks. And she's not aware of her actions. And she can wake up and she can have a lighter with some paint stripper all over her kids and about to light them up, or the son looking in the window in the classroom and seeing his reflection and his reflection smiling. It's that lack of control of your own body, or and the same way that the cult members aren't really in control, they're being controlled by something else. But sometimes you don't know, you're being puppeteered. Exactly. Like, it's with that kind of allegory of the with the miniatures and the figurines. And when people are manipulative, you start even thinking that it's maybe you doubt yourself. Like it's not maybe them. They are manipulating me. Maybe it's my subconscious. Maybe I wanted this and all that. But that's the whole point of the film with Hereditary as well. It's like, will I just turn into my mother, or like if I have mental illness in my family,
is that just an inevitability for me? So it's that lack of control that's really terrifying, and that's one of the reasons the film is so effective, because it's that idea that kind of like strange idea in the back of your head that maybe you're not really in control of your life, or you don't really have free will, and that something is just inevitably going to happen. That's terrifying, not being in control. I think that plays really well in the film.
And but also, like, she was away from her mom. She's saying like, no, we just stop talking and then we talk again and all that. No, it's like sometimes it's like, fucking get apart, get away. If a relationship breaks because of something so big, like the whole family kill themselves, like the father starved himself, the brother, I mean, go away. It's like, and then
maybe it's a sign that the family isn't really working out.
Like, I don't know. It's hard. I mean, it's like the kid, that the guy should have be gone. She said that when she did this, that she wanted to light them up. The kid never forgive her, or never forget either. He was like,
be a hard thing to forget.
Yeah. So I mean, just fucking go away, never come back.
And that nightmare where he feels like his head's being pulled off, or someone's grabbing his head. Yeah, there's some great imagery with like heads and decapitation. And that moment when, in the same dream, when he sees his sister in the corner and a ball just like her head drops and it's like a ball rolling towards it.
No, that's crazy. But the hands that were actually pulling his head were the child, the little sister hands. Were they? I don't know.
They're disembodied because they're behind the bed. They're just
it wasn't the mom.
Phantom.
It was like,
he thought it was the mom, but no.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the mom.
Although you don't know what the mum was doing.
No, but
because even to like dig up her own mother, that's a great twist with the body being up in the attic the whole time.
No.
Yeah, there's some great foreshadowing just with the way that the Gabriel Byrne's character is called, and there's been a desecration of the grave. What do you mean a desecration? And then it's not brought back up again. You're like, oh, maybe they just knocked over the gravestone. And for that to be, that kind of like, she's not even aware of the fact that she could dig up the grave of her mother. Like, that could have been a sleepwalking, or that she's being manipulated, or she can't even trust her own memory. And she put her like put the body in the top of the house, in the head, or whatever. And it's just like I was saying, the bedroom of Charlie is like a kind of window boxed head of the house. Like, they're in the same corridor, so you have Peter at one end, and then off to the right is the parents' bedroom, and then you go up some steps and you have the kind of vaulted ceiling with the little window at it, and outside the house it makes it look like a kind of like a head of the house with the kind of shoulders as the roof. But it looks like she was always in the head of the house. Really great like symbolism. So well directed for a first film. Ari Aster.
His first film.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's gonna do some amazing things.
It's very good. Yeah.
But
come on.
Yeah. Really enjoyed Hereditary.
Whoa. Every time I see these kind of movies, as a woman, I always think like, how scary is to be a mom. Jesus. I mean, I don't know if you have some kind of weird behavior in one of your children or things like that. I mean, of course, I'm being very like, thinking like a fiction story or something. But I don't know. It's one of my biggest fear, this kind of stuff. Jesus, if I have a kid that just cut the head of a pigeon and bring it home, I'm like, what the hell? Of course, you never saw it, I think.
Never seen it.
But imagine,
So that's like a sacrifice nearly for the grandmother, or did the grandmother want the little...
All these symbols. I mean, like, she was always making these little... I mean, the girl was also making these little figures, like human figures, because at the end, the friend... that friend that Joan that she met, she has all the little figures that the girl made in her house.
She's making all those little toys.
I think
so she's starting to make starting to make like these kind of fucked up little makeshift figurines. So she's just becoming her mother as well.
It runs through the generation.
And it probably starts from the drawings. Like, she's trying to capture the image of a family, and then like to actually like create them out of those like twisted metal and stuff. Her little toys. And like in school they're saying, oh, stop playing with your toys, but she's just creating little figurines of family.
Totally. Just right before she dies, she's making another one, when she's in the party. Like, and I think she's making a male one, I don't know why. Maybe I'm just but it was like she's making another little figure when she's in the party. It's just horrible.
It's nuts.
Yeah, it's nuts. She went nuts. Well, imagine, like, she was trying to... I mean, she wasn't totally possessed because she acted like a kid sometimes, like an innocent kid.
I thought she was maybe mentally handicapped, but she wasn't. She was
possessed.
A regular kid. Yeah, a bit weird. Maybe she was a bit autistic or something, but she seemed to act like they treated her like a regular kid. Maybe she's just kind of, shy, and then they just want to make her socialize a bit more. That's
why the mom sent her to a party with 18 years old. I mean, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Nobody will do that. In a girl, also. A girl. I go with your brother, with all his friends that are 18 years old. And yet, I mean, that doesn't make any sense that she was,
Mom, I'm playing with my pigeon heads. Do I have to?
Yeah. Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah, there's so many little things that just make you kind of really unnerved. Even just like the fact that she's outside with her shoes off and like getting muddy feet. And yeah, there's just all these little oddities, or they just kind of subvert the norm a bit. And there's this great, how in game night that they make the neighborhood look like a board game.
Yeah.
It's called tilt shift photography. They kind of do that with the house here a few times. So it's like shot in a bit where it's shot in a way that the focal plane looks kind of miniature. So it, like, they shoot the house like it's another miniature house as well sometimes. What was it? Yeah, and it just all makes it seem like it's all kind of created.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and even with the way that it cuts from night to day is really effective, like really like sudden kind of switch, but it's like the way that a light is switched on and switched off. It's like someone is controlling their surroundings perfectly, and of course that's kind of bookends the film with the way that it moves into the dollhouse at the start before the funeral, and it's all taking part in the dollhouse, and then at the end it kind of pulls out of the treehouse. But of course that's just symbolic for, I guess, the way that they're all kind of trapped, or they're all kind of being controlled in some way, or that's inevitable that they have to live in these kind of
I always
surrounds.
Thought, I mean, I was thinking when the kid was, like in the attic, when he was just the end of the whole stuff. I mean, who could, like, his mom was already cutting her own head,
flossing her head off.
So I thought, I was thinking, what would you do there? How can you resist something? And I was thinking, what would be the best thing to do? You like make a cross with your fingers, like, and start praying, or what would be the most effective thing? I mean,
or jump out the window like you did.
Yeah, no, you can't, because you're gonna kill yourself and you're gonna be possessed. I mean, they are sacrificed.
Well, you didn't know anyway. You just wanted to get out of there.
Well, everybody knows that if a situation like that, if your picture has a circle of candles around and shit like that, there's something going on. They're gonna take you. So, what can you do?
I don't think he was,
What would be the best? I was thinking
he thought he was asleep as well.
Maybe screaming like no. I mean, can you actually resist something like that?
If he just had some holy water to throw in their faces,
or maybe you can just, I don't know, what would be the best thing
I don't know how I would react to my mum flossing her head off above me on the ceiling, and then some naked geriatrics waving at me. I think I'd jump out the window as well.
What I mean, like, what's the best way to resist?
You just don't know until you're in that situation,
Yeah.
You just have to...
I don't know. There's nobody prepared you for something. I don't know. It's just, wow. No, but that kid is very good. I haven't seen that actor in any other.
No,
thing.
Me neither. Yeah, he's a really distinctive face.
Yeah, I hope the girl does something different in the future, because maybe it's a start for her, because. And it'd be sad if just for her look is just chosen for something like that. What I mean?
She suits the film so well, though. It's just, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Is that like? Is that
inappropriate?
Exploitation?
Exploitation? Of course it is exploitation. That's why I don't like that idea. Like, I hope she can do something else.
But they don't make fun of her looks in the film. No one kind of points and says. It's used to kind of affect a kind of tone.
Yeah, nobody acknowledged that the girl has some kind of different look. But that's why, I mean, it makes me very tense, to watch the movie, because I thought, this is not fair. I mean, I have to admit. But, well, I don't know if it's what it is. I hope that she can do something else. Well, she chose it, but she's an underage,
I wonder if they did.
I regret things that I did yesterday. So how can somebody, make that kind of choice. You know, you're using your look. Your look is being exploited for a movie and a horror movie. You're not even giving. You know, because what I feel from this, right, is like when people have this kind of things that are out of the common. If you do something that will help other people like you know, like to deal with your different appearance or whatever you have, okay, fair enough. But if you're doing something to exploit that kind of, you know, singularity that you have in a way that is not the best, I mean, it's like, a scary kid. I mean, I don't think it's, I think it's kind of hard. I don't know, maybe it's something brave that the director, the producer did, whatever, but I feel a bit, you know, concerned.
But people have birth defects.
But you use it in a positive way. I mean, in a way that it could help other people that are like you.
But then
in that way,
is that expectation as well? Because you think she's creepy, and it's used in the marketing and the trailers to kind of like, oh, that's this strange looking kid. But the movie itself doesn't really.
No, it doesn't focus on that. No, at all.
No, and like she's dispatched pretty quickly when she dies by the end of the first act or the start of the second act.
Mm-hmm.
And.
But still,
well, she has this weird clicking thing. She's supposed to be a strange kid. But there's a history of like strange kids in horror movies.
But strange, you mean strange because this is a different kind of a strange. Come on, this is something that is not. What can I say? Like it's not expected in a regular kid, because you could have a strange kid because they might have this strong, you know, look, or they could be, you know, these kind of features that make them more like Merlina. I don't know if you call it Merlina in English, like the Addams Family, you know, like the girl that she has this really like a badass angry face, you know, but it's still something that common, you know, that could be in the
like she's not deformed or
I mean that's the thing.
It's an interesting one.
It's something, you know, to think about. I mean, I don't know how much they thought. Of course, they did put into that, you know, and
it was definitely a conscious casting choice, but it was really effective as well. I don't know if it's a bad thing or a good thing, but I guess if the parents consent to it.
I don't know. It kind of made me remember this thing. I don't know why, but you know, like the disaster artist. You know when he's going to these auditions and all that for theater. And then one guy told them, like, why don't you audition for the monster, the bad guy, you know, that's what's gonna suit you, you know. And then it's like, oh no, I want to be the prince or whatever. So I don't want this girl to be told that. I mean, it's just no right.
It's like if you're an adult, you can choose, I guess. But it's like the kid from the end of the fucking world and Black Mirror and Ghost Stories. That guy, he has this odd look that he kind of fits those kind of parts really well, but he's making a choice.
But he can still, you know, he's older and he can still choose, you know. I mean, I hope this one can choose as well in another opportunity, you know. I mean, let's say she chose this as well. I'm not saying that anybody forced her, but I hope she could have other kind of like variety, you know, enough for her to do something different. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too like. Maybe this is actually what they don't want. Maybe actually I'm not making her any good being so worried about it, because why should I treat her differently? You know what I mean? Because it's like the same if a kid is too beautiful to the regular.
It's also a good performance. Like she's
cute
really
kid could also be cast at the same.
It isn't just her looks; it's the way that she acts that is really effective. And like really kind of cold and kind of, you know, she performs it
but
well.
she has really a good performance, you know, when she like her eyes sometimes when the mom
and when she's like choking, like it's really,
or when the mom
terrifying.
comes and a couple of times somebody scared her because when she was staring at something and suddenly it's like, you know, it's like she's actually looking, you know, at something, like staring, like she has her, you know, good performance. So I hope she can do something different. Just, you know, to see more of her. But it's interesting. You want to go and play with my Barbies? My Polly Pockets?
Let's go make a dollhouse.
No, Jesus.
So that's Hereditary. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Looking for a new movie site? Check out our creative partner MovieBabbleReviews.com, where you can find an array of reviews, articles and other movie discussion to sink your teeth into. If you want to donate to Film My Watchlist and help improve the quality and frequency of our uploads, check out the link to our Patreon in the description below. Finally, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to subscribe and check out our other content. Thanks very much for watching.